I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the News du Jour, a calmer space to consume the news. So up first today in mini stories, we wanted to let you guys know that President Zelensky of Ukraine was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year for 2022. He is shown with the faces of his fellow countrymen surrounding him on the cover, and the headline reads, Volodymyr Zelensky and the Spirit of Ukraine. So amazing. For our first longer story today, though, we are covering Germany now arresting dozens of people with a plot to overthrow the German government. So there were 25 people, many with military training, who German officials believed were actually plotting to overthrow the German government. Just like here in the US, these fanatics believed that there was a quote-unquote deep state running their government and that it was their job to overthrow them violently, if necessary. About 3,000 special forces were deployed to capture these people and bring them into police custody. They had been studying the activities of these individuals for the past year. They even arrested a member of German nobility, Prince Heinrich VIII of Rus, a Russian citizen, one person in Austria, and another in Italy in relation to this group activity. The plan was to attack the German parliament building, and the group had attempted to get security guards at the facility to take up their cause. But they'd also planned a whole puppet government that they wanted to put into power after overthrowing the current leadership. The group was actually even in touch with the Russian government, and it's possible that this group planned to support Russia in their war should their puppet government somehow gain power. And there were also several other kind of like subplots afoot, like back in April, for example, when Germany arrested people plotting to kidnap their health minister. As we know, democracy is being challenged world over, and this is just the latest effort. But that doesn't make it any less alarming, especially paired with Germany's history of provoking world wars. This is a precarious time, and it's great that the German officials were able to prevent this unnecessary attack. And next up for today, we're going to just kind of touch on how the Ukraine war is really becoming the enemy of the oil and gas industry. This is less of a news story and more just of a thought I want you guys to ponder. You see, I was invited to be part of the Financial Times Global Boardroom Conference, and one of the fascinating ideas that an expert was touching on was that the war in Ukraine is actually pushing Europe towards renewables like never before. As Putin continued to hold oil and gas hostage, the continent is left with few choices of where to get their energy. And one of those limited choices is to take the leap towards renewables. And that's kind of what they're opting for. They're moving towards the future because they might as well, right? Fossil fuel prices are sky high right now. And a lot of that is due to the war and what Putin is doing. So Europe may as well try the cheaper option and kind of troubleshoot as they go. It is not going to be a simple process, but we're seeing leadership turn that direction. I also wanted to touch on the idea that Putin is really weaponizing winter here. This ties into energy in the sense that he's attacking energy facilities in Ukraine to where people won't have electricity in their homes, and the way that that's going to leave them in the dark and in the cold. And in that sense, he's using winter to essentially kill Ukrainian people. And next up for today, we're discussing, of course, Warnock's win. So over in Georgia, Senator Raphael Warnock won his bid for re-election against the Republican Herschel Walker. The Democrats have now secured 51 seats in the Senate, and they have the vice president to spare. This puts them in an even better position in the Senate than they were before the midterms. Warnock was predicted to win, given how the first round ended up, but it was still a very close race. Warnock only won by a mere 2%, despite Herschel Walker's numerous public scandals. Warnock was raised in public housing, and now he sits as a senator on Capitol Hill. He really is kind of the epitome of the American dream in that sense, and he won over voters yet again to keep him in this senatorial position. And that is a news du jour. Today, I wanted to leave you guys with the quote, "If it doesn't feel like work, it's probably not going to work." If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use to listen. A rate and review or shout out on social media would mean the world to us and help us be able to keep creating the news du jour. But the best way to support all of our work is to become a patron at www.patreon.com/sugarfreemedia. You can also follow us on social media under sugarfreemedia.co on Instagram and just sugarfreemedia, all one word, on TikTok. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour.
Broadcasting from Oklahoma.